Hey guys, welcome back to another Warframe video. Today we're going to be taking a look at 3 builds for Mesa Prime. So let's get into it. Alright. So as for Archon Shards. Yellow Archon Shard for effectiveness on Health Ward. And red Archon Shard for secondary critical chance. You're going to have another one of those red Archon Shards with the same, with also secondary critical chance, and then 2 blue Archon Shards with max energy. As for the first build, we have Pistol Amp, Mesa Watts, Primed Flow, Equidium, Blind Rage, Sure-Footed, Umbra Intensify, Prime Continuity, Trinity of Fortune, Umbra Vitality, Arcane Energize, and Augmented. And surprisingly, this time we're not using the Tetsu Prime for this build. We're using the Dual Near Prime. And we're going to be looking at the Steel Path Red Crit build, which has Crossing Snakes, Gladiator's Might, Condition Overload, Organ Shatter, Significant Pressure, Significant Steel, Volcanic Edge, and Blood Rush. And for the Regulators, for the first build, you're going to have Glazed Diffusion, Prime Target Collector, Prime Pistol Gabiet, Prime Persight, Prime Conclusion, Lethal Tornite, Scorch, and Glaive Shot. Wait, the ability to be able to even shoot them? Alright, good. As you can see, it does a lot of damage. And that's why one of my favorite Warframes to do damage with is Mesa. And as for these, the Dual Near Primes, yeah, they also do a lot of damage. The build we got. It did just do so much damage. And then over time, this will also do damage. Not much, but very strong build. And I'll show you the dual near prime over time damage. Not much, but it still does. They still do a decent amount of damage. And then when you get their Steel Path shields gone, then it starts doing a lot more overtime damage. As you can see, it's literally red and orange written. $20,000 damage. But of course, if you run out of energy, you're going to need a gun, which we're going to be using the Burst Prime like always. Which has, for the first evolution, there's only one option. Evolution 2, Fortress Savlo. Evolution 3, Kinetic Battle, for that recoil. And then Evolution 4, Absolute Valor. And the build is, we're going to be using this one. Primary Merciless, Stabilizer, Thermite Rounds, Critical Delay, Shred, Glaive Chamber, Glaive Scope, Gilded Truth, Set Rotation, and Vital Sense. So it doesn't do damage at first, but when you do this, activates in its incarnation form. It does quite a bit of damage. Activate it. And it's easier to activate because it has better fire rate. Quick, extremely quick fire rate. Already activated. Straight up annihilation. And then it's over time effect. See, literally just took their entire shield off. The shield's already gone. And over time, it does a ton of damage. And since there's the one mod on it, Glaive mod, the more headshots you get, the more red crit it will do. And let's now get into the second build. Well, actually, no. Let's get into the second regulator build. For the second one, it doesn't do as much, but Lethal Torment, Glaive Diffusion, Gunslinger, Automatic Agility, Primed Conclusion, Primed Target Cracker, Pistol Predicite, and Glaive Shot. lots and lots and lots of damage. Straight up they don't even stand a chance against Mesa Prime. As for her second build, it has Pistol Amp, Mesa Watch, Primed Flow, Equilibrium, Primed Vingar, Trend and Fortune, Augur Secret, Blind Rage, Umbra Valiant, and Umbra Intensify, Arcane Fury, and Molt Augment. I have a second Umbra mod to increase its strength, the strength of this. Because if you have them combined, it'll increase the strength and the health. So let's switch back to the first regulator build. And we also will use the red crit build too. Regular red crit. Craven Mantis, Gladiator's Might, Condition Overload, Synaptic Steel, Organ Shatter, Volcanic Edge, Volcanic Strike, Radiant Strike, and Blood Rush. As for the Mesa build with the regulators, well, this just does way more damage because its strength is increased. And this build does, it doesn't red crit as much. And if you jump in the air, oh, not like that, but the dual near primes are especially good in the circuit. Because if you combine all the melee degrees, it starts, you know, I've got it into the sense where it's done millions of damage in the circuit. If you collect the right degrees. But it definitely does not do as much damage as the other build. And for the second regulator build, with this, the second Mesa build might do more damage, but slower. Which means it probably just less damage, but either way, a lot of, no matter what build you probably do, it will probably be incredibly strong on Mesa. So let's get into the third build. If you probably realized by now, I have basically no rotation and range on these Mesa builds, because for the regulators you do not need it. All you really need on Mesa, if you want to use Mesa's abilities, which are Shattered Shield, which evolves Mesa in a barrier of energy, reflecting back incoming bullets damage. And then you have Shooting Gallery, gives an ally extra damage while jamming the guns of nearby enemies. This power shifts between team members. And then Ballistic Battery. When activated, this power stores damage caused by guns. When triggered again, the damage is cancelled through the next gunshot. But all you really should care about is really her Peacemaker ability. With intense focus, Mesa draws her regulator pistol, shooting down her foes in rapid succession, which does incredibly lots of damage. The thing about her second build I have for her drains 37 energy when you first activate it, and energy a second is 26.25. But with the first build, it's only 18.75 a second, and 37.5 when you first activate it, which has also a damage multiplier of 4.28. And then we're gonna use the third build now. For our main ability, I'm using drains only 30 at the start, and then only drains 12.41 a second. And damage multiplier though on this one is 3.52. And speed is 50%. And for the build, you have Pistol Amp, Mesa Waltz, Umbra Vanity, Blind Rage, Steamline, Umbra Intensified, Rapid Resilient, Prime Continuity, Primed Flow, and Equilibrium. This is only so you take less status rotation from examine enemies. You can also replace Prime Continuity with Triumphant Fortune. They get 285 ability strength. You can replace Rapid Resin with Prime Sure-Footed, or Adaption or Rolling Guard. And I have Arcane Reaper and Arcane Fury. And for this mod slot, I would recommend something like Fury or maybe Primed Reach. Where if you want to combine, or you can make it even more fire. Use heat or slash. But I recommend it probably Radiant Strike versus slash and puncture. So for the final build, I should activate the enemies first of all. Now with the Arcane Fury, it does it now even more damage. A heavy attack just did 100,000 damage at once. Over 100,000 damage at once. And for the Mesa build, it doesn't do as much damage as the other build because it doesn't have more damage than that. But either way, whatever build you go with, it will still do a ton of damage, no matter what build you go with out of the three. And the reason on the second build I have primed Vingar is because when you're shooting in front of me, the enemies will shoot you from behind. And you will not be able to react quick enough. Because you're mostly focused on shooting the enemies in front of you. And now I'm actually gonna unpause the thing, the enemies. Have Shatter Shield. That ain't good. As you can see with the shield, she don't take as much damage. Whoa. Well, she wasn't taking as much damage, is what I should say. Uh-oh. And final but not least, for the fashion frame. White from the smoke, black from the smoke for these two, and for the last three you have blue from the classic standard. And then for attachments, you got the spinnery Amira, the EOS Prime chest plate, the left EOS Prime shoulder plate, the right EOS Prime shoulder plate, Prisma A ankle plate, and then the Prima ankle plate for the other leg. This should be blue. So these are the same colors as Warframe. Ow. That was stupid of me to do. Also looks pretty good in red, so. And then for the syndicate thing, Sakina is the TennoCon 2023 thing. And we're gonna end it here, guys. If you liked, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Have a good night.